So it's got to try again. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. Can you guys all hear me all right? Can you give me a thumbs up? You guys are all muted, but just to make sure. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for all jumping on here. Thanks for taking some time out. This is really just kind of saving me some time to be able to connect with you guys. I know what the process over the past month has done for me. And man, I'm just so grateful to experience that and be feeling the way that I'm feeling now. And I wanted to really just kind of pay it forward and connect with people and help other people on this journey. Someone did that for me, and I'll get into that here in a minute. Someone called me and really just kind of asked me about it, and that was the beginning of it. But for me, my story real quick is, man, in high school and early kind of Bible school, master's mission days, never really had problems with my weight, with my health. It was always something that kind of came naturally to me. And but things change as you get older and married and kids get in the way, and life just got in the way for me, and I made excuses for myself. And that's what I really, in the long run, realized. I started making excuses, and I'd go through a season where I'd get real motivated and I'd try like paleo, or I'd try something different. And for me, a lot of times it ended up being the front end workload of it, just having to prep all those meals or figure out what to buy or what not to buy, or how to do it. And it just again, I made excuses for my health, and I didn't prioritize things like I should. And I got to the point this end of last year where I was probably weighed more than I had, at least close to the most I've ever weighed in my life. I was weighing 233 pounds, and I was tired. I wasn't waking up good. I didn't have a lot of energy. And I don't know if you guys have felt this ever before, but I found myself looking at pictures of myself and going, oh, that's not me. Like, that must be a bad angle, or the camera adds a few pounds, and I was tired of it, and I wanted something different. And a friend of mine, Dan Valentine, who's someone who's I've known since I was 18, is a mentor of mine, a close personal friend of mine. Our families, we vacationed together, and decided I need to make a change. And on January 5th, I made that change. You can see on the left kind of where I found myself at 233 pounds, and not brave enough to put up the shirtless pictures, and you can thank me later for that. But I just was at a point where I wanted something different, and Dan talked to me and encouraged me. Dan had been on a similar journey, doing some amazing things himself personally with when it comes to weight loss and his health. And it actually became a thing. I was, many of you guys know I started a church here in Texas, and we were doing a series called I Quit. And week 1 was I quit making excuses. And as I heard myself preaching, I realized, man, I'm preaching to myself. Like, I need to personally quit making excuses for my health. And they were good excuses of my time and finances and other things. But at the end of the day, there were excuses that were keeping me from optimal health. And I realized that I needed to make a shift, and that would there would be things that I'd have to change. And I was willing at that point to make that change. And talked to Dan Valentine, a friend of mine. He told me about the plan that he was on. He told me about the weight loss that he experienced, and how not just a number on a scale, but how it changed how he felt, the impact that had on his relationships, on his friendships, on his family, with his kids. And I knew I wanted that. And I decided, again, I'm so sorry if there's a lot of background noise, guys. Church planner life, I'm at a coffee shop. But anyway, I decided to do it. On January 5th, I started this program, and 1 month later, I lost 25 pounds. I have more energy than I've ever had. I've felt it in all arenas of my life. As my physical life got better, my emotional life got better, my spiritual life got better. I feel like I'm a better father, I'm a better parent, I'm a better husband, I'm a better pastor. And I'm still on my journey, and I'm not even there where I want to be, where I think optimal health is for me. But I can tell what I have felt up to this point. And I told Dan, I was like, I gotta pass this along. I gotta share this, and I want to help other people with this journey. And the way I'm wired, I love coaching. I've done that on the side as a side business for over a year now when it comes to some business and organizational stuff. And when I realized I could become a health coach and help people with this journey, I said, I want to do this. So I threw that on Facebook, expecting a couple likes and some comments here and there, and it got a little more traction than I expected, and I got a lot of calls that I had to make, and I said, man, I want to throw this together. Dan, would you help me out? Another health coach of mine that's been helping me out is a guy named Doug Wood, and he's just, he's brilliant, and has lost a lot of weight. You'll hear a little bit of his story and how long he's kept it off. And I think if I could say anything before I hand it off to Dan and Doug to talk about some more nuts and bolts is I think one thing that I was worried about was just doing a diet. I've always been opposed to that. I didn't want some magical shake. I didn't want some magical pill. I really wanted change that would stick with me. And that's what I love about this program is it's about healthy habits and about changing things that stick with you after the fact and not just staying on something forever, drinking a shake for the rest of my life or taking a pill for the rest of my life, really changing some habits that affect all areas of my life. And man, I could go on and on about the logistics, how easy it's been for me. I've literally been sprinting from meeting to meeting today. I barely sat down. And I've been able to do this plan. It's been simple today, and I feel great. So that's a little bit about my journey. I'm a little over halfway there, and man, I'm pumped to be on the journey, and I can't wait till I really hit that optimal health. So I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off now to Dan. This has been my personal health coach. You can see the transformation that's happened in his life, and I'd like him to take an opportunity to kind of explain what this journey's looked like for him and how it's worked for him. So this is everyone, Dan Valentine.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for sharing, man. That's awesome. I really appreciate the honor to be able to share on this call with you. My journey is similar to yours. The kicker for me, two things. You can see that picture there. And if you can't see it all the way on your screen, you can click on Fit to Screen, and it'll show up if you're only seeing part of the picture. But you got to go with me to Jamaica. Well, don't go with me, but journey with me in your mind for a minute. I'm out there. I'm with my wife. We did this all-inclusive last-minute trip, and they had a photographer at the resort that was taking all these pictures, and then you kind of turn your little card in at the end, like at Disney, and see your pictures and order them and stuff. Well, long story short, I'm out there on this little catamaran, and I'm thinking, man, I should be on the cover of Sailing magazine. I'm cruising around thinking I'm all awesome, just loving life, sunshine. I'm waving at everybody on the beach and all this. And then I got these pictures back, and I was horrified. I mean, the reality of myself in my own mind was so different than what I was actually living. And that was kind of the start of this snowball in my life. I ended up, the week we got home, I was speaking to our junior high group at the church, and I actually got winded while I was speaking and had trouble catching my breath. And that just scared me because, I used to speak in school assemblies all over and just loved it. I'm pretty animated, and speaking to the junior high group, it just threw me that I couldn't. And then probably the kicker for me was when my 4-year-old son, Micah, he was 3 at the time, actually asked me why I didn't like to play with him, and broke my heart. And I thought, well, no, I do like to play with you. Here, look, let's watch a show. And but for him, playing's the trampoline, hide and seek, tag, superheroes, all that kind of stuff. And I just realized that my energy levels were so low. I just, it's not that I don't love my kids. I just didn't have the energy to play with them like they wanted. And I just came to this point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I reached out, one of the best decisions of my life. I reached out to a friend of mine who I'd known for over 20 years. And he had lost 100 pounds and kept it off for about 4 years. I had watched his journey on Facebook a little. And I'm so grateful that he posted his journey on Facebook instead of keeping it to himself. And I think that's one of the reasons that I started doing the same, is just it revolutionized my life. I mean, I started the program on July 8th. I've lost almost 80 pounds now. The majority of that I lost in the first 4 months. Just went back on the program to really try to get down to my high school weight now, just an extra 15 pounds, but it just changed my life. My energy levels, my relationship with God, my relationship with my family's eating better. I mean, there's a clarity in my mind that I have, a confidence level when I speak. I just love, running around with the kids, and, I don't come home and just want to plop on the couch every night like I used to. And, for me, I just wanted to pay it forward like Dan and throw it out there. And one of the people that I was able to talk to was Dan Matlock. And he started the journey, and it's just that ripple effect. It's so awesome. When you make a decision like this, it doesn't only affect your life, but it affects the people all around you. And I just love the opportunity to share. So Dan, I'm honored to be on the call here. I believe in this program. I've tried every program out there. I've tried the my own plan program. I call it the MOP program, my own plan, which has never worked. I've tried every diet, and this is just something that's honestly, it's so simple. It's very nutritious. It's just a great plan. So I'm a believer. I highly recommend it. You really got to be at a place where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, though. If you're just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm okay. My only regret is this, and I want to say this because I see all you young bucks on the call here. My only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. I'm 41 years old. And I wasted, honestly, 10, 15 years being out of shape, living as a shell of who I was supposed to be, honestly. And I wish I hadn't wasted all those years. I'm excited that I finally did something about it. But just, do it, sooner rather than later if you're thinking about it. So thanks for letting me share, Dan. One of our health coaches, our support team, is a guy named Doug Wood, and he's going to share a little bit more of the nuts and bolts, a little bit of his story, and really let you know what the program's all about. So, Doug, take it away, brother.
I sure will. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's an honor to share. Probably because 5 years ago at this time, I actually was in the furniture business, and I was the similar stories to both of you, Dan's. But I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about how the program works today, but why I said that 5 years ago, because I was in the exact same shoes and needing to make a fundamental change. And when I did that, I discovered that I needed something that works, because I had kind of pretty much tried everything. And I just wanted to share with you, that was my wife and I. We lost over 100 pounds together on the plan and have maintained that now for 4 years. I must tell you, see that title under our name, Certified Health Coaches? That picture on the left, you would have never, even dreamed that anything to do with the word health and Doug would have been in the same sentence. But when you find something that works so well, I have a passion to pay it forward and help other people. And I am, because I'm thankful for this person on the left-hand side, because I actually planted a church with the gentleman on the left there. His name is Calais. And we planted a church in 2007 together. And he, thankfully, for Facebook, a couple of years later, we got back in touch, and I was following his journey, and he paid it forward to us. And I'm going to share with you guys for the next 11, 12 minutes tops about how the program works, if it's a fit for you. And the reason I say if, because our program is not for everybody. I'll just tell you that right now. It is for the people that want to make health a priority and not just do a quick fix diet, pill, wrap, anything that's just going to give you something temporary or just more give you the cosmetics of the outside. We're looking to get the mind healthy to match the body, because what's going to happen if you decide to do the Take Shape for Life program, you're going to be losing weight extremely fast. You're going to be feeling great. Your energy levels will be up. And the only problem with that is, and Dan, you were talking about your only regret. My only regret was my health coach didn't tell me that I would be losing the weight as quickly as I was and feeling so good, but the 6 inches between my ears was going to take a couple of months, or actually a couple of years, to catch up. And thankfully, the Take Shape for Life program has something that we can work through to get our mind healthy, to keep up with our new healthy body. So I just want to share a couple of stories with you guys just real fast. Actually, not even stories. I'm just going to show you guys some pictures. This is my family. My dad was a type 2 diabetic. He is no longer, thank you, God. My sister lost 35 pounds on the program. And my mom, after battling cancer and coming out of a stem cell transplant, she had a lot of excess weight gain and things like that. But she did the program. Mom lost 34 pounds, which is pretty cool. Some of you guys might know Zach. He's one of our clients from the Wally show on the Way FM. I worked with Zach last year. He was a type 2 diabetic, and he went on, did our program. In fact, his wife did as well, and they were not able to have a baby. For a lot of different, obviously, reasons. We all know how you can have a baby, but there's obviously things that go on behind the scenes, we know, with medical complications. But she went on and did the program, and with just in a month, or I think it was 6 weeks, my wife coached her, And after trying to have a baby for almost 3 years, within 6 weeks, they did get pregnant. So we're not saying it's just because of the plan, but it's amazing when you just kind of get everything flowing right, that everything just starts working that much better. But Zach and Sarah are good friends of ours and great advocates of the program. And this is my first client I worked with. This is Molly, and she lost over 100 pounds on the plan. And you can see there's another before picture of mine on the left. And yes, if you can see my picture right now, it's the same tattoo. So it is the same person. But it's amazing how when two friends come together and work on something together, it's pretty powerful. But there's Molly. Her dream was to finally be in a bikini. She did that after losing 100 pounds, and she's maintained, kept her weight off now for about 2.5 years. So pretty cool. And, a lot of people go, man, that's great stories, Doug, but what if I just want to, what if I'm already a skinny person, but I have a fat mind? I just like to eat. Well, you know what? The program works great to tighten up some habits. Do the program for a week or two, and you can see already healthy people that just have a little bit extra in some places that it's not exactly perfect, can do the program too. So it's awesome. So, some of the common questions you might be asking yourself, or that I always asked when I heard about the program, the first thing that I did when I messaged my health coach, Calais, I'm like, how does it work? And then I want to know how it tasted, and I want to know how much it costed, which maybe, I don't know if you guys said the same thing to Dan, but they're good questions because we're concerned about it. But if you look at the guy there on the left-hand side, which, yes, it's me, clearly I was a little too concerned about how everything tasted because look at me. So I needed to kind of be like, okay, maybe my entire life I've been too concerned about taste, so moving on. But it's a common question that we just want to know the answers to decide if we're going to do and find the right program or what I used to call diet for us. But, here's the thing. We all know what we don't want. But ask yourself if you're doing what you're doing today is getting closer to where you want to be. I mean, I was the career diet starts Monday, New Year's resolutions guy. But, it's very rare that we ask ourselves, what do we want? Like right now, if you're thinking, what does optimal health mean to me? And when I got asked that question, I was like, optimal health, it's more like, just trying to lose 20 pounds here. I'm just trying to maintain. But it's amazing when we can focus on what do we want, because it's not always about the weight you lose, but it's about the life that you gain. And after doing about 10 diets, I was finally, what was really burning inside of me was to not worry about so much the how, but for the first time in my life, I had to ask myself, why do I want to get healthy? And you heard that from Dan Matlock, Dan Valentine, about the quality of life that comes back. So if you do this, if you know what you want in terms of weight loss, in terms of health, and you know why you want it, how you get there makes zero difference. It's like today, we all probably drove a car, and we all have a destination in mind. If we want to be there bad enough, some of us will drive our car, some of us will ride a bike. There's a lot of means of transportations. Some happen to work better and have more luxury and more of a comfortable rider and get you there quicker. And that's what happens to be with our program, is that I was looking for something that worked for me. See, I like to eat a lot, and the only problem is I did it 2 times a day, and that was causing a lot of weight gain, bigger meals. And with this program, I learned that I could take what I'm doing already, which is eating, and actually just be better at it and actually spread it out and eat 6 times a day versus 1 or 2 big meals, which was causing me the weight gain. And so I just found that, once I knew why I wanted to get healthy, well, the program made sense, and really here's how it works. So we've got a health program that includes weight loss. So many people ask me all the time, Doug, what's different, because I have done, if you can name it, unless it's came out within the last 3 years, I did the diet, okay? And I lost 10 or 15 pounds, and then I would gain it back. But people ask me all the time, Doug, what's different about Take Shape for Life? And it was like, well, we actually pick up where diets leave off, except we'll help you to get to a healthy weight much quicker and stay there. And that's, you can see there's 6 steps to living a healthier life. And you can see that reaching a healthy weight for us is just step 2, but everything else and every diet, paleo, counting points, wrapping myself, like a mummy, only helped me lose some inches or lose some pounds. And really what's cool about the Take Shape for Life program is I learned what healthy eating looks like. I learned, that it doesn't have to be all about starving myself and always eating salad and boring chicken. You know, it was kind of boring. So here's how our program works. We have a Habits of Health system starting on the top left up here. Dr. Anderson, the founder of our program, has always had a passion for optimal health and helping people get their mind figured out. Well, he's like, we need a proven meal replacement plan that has been around for years. And he found that and went to, and then he said, well, what if we took, my Habits of Health system to where it's kind of like the Bible, not really the Bible, but, the Bible for health, and then like an application guide, almost like a devotional or something. How does it apply to my life? And then we took someone that has done the program that could pay it forward and turn around with a proven meal plan. What happens is you get results like you've seen already today. So that's really the program. So what does it look like? All of the meals for a day-to-day on the Life On plan really are high quality in protein. They're low glycemic. They're portable and convenient. And here's how complicated they are. I don't have one on me, which I normally do, but you pretty much open package and eat the content. It's pretty simple, and they're easy to prepare because sometimes you just add water, heat them up in the microwave. We have brownies. We got all kinds of good stuff. But basically, we want to take the thinking out of it for you and help you focus on why you want to be healthy, and we'll help you with that. So what's a day in the life of Take Shape for Life look like? So if you're like Dan or me, you wake up in the morning, within 30 minutes of waking up, you're going to have a bowl of oatmeal, and it's the Take Shape for Life oatmeal. A couple hours later, it's time to eat again. You're going to have maybe a shake, a bar, whatever. A couple hours later, time to eat again. We eat every 2.5 to 3 hours. You're going to have maybe a bowl of soup or some chili or one of the meals that comes as a part of the meal plan. I hate to tell you, a couple hours later, it's time to eat again. Maybe you're going to have a peanut butter bar or a s'mores bar or a strawberry or something like that. Now, here's the cool part. You're not feeling like you're set apart from the rest of the world because you can't eat out or you can't eat with your family. And so at dinner time or in the morning, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you can have what's called a lean and green meal, which is a normal, balanced protein, whether it be chicken, steak, fish, whatever, vegetables, and you can eat dinner with your family. If you're a busy on-the-go pastor or you're doing something else, you can do it as an omelet in the morning. It doesn't matter. And then, of course, late at night, you're like, Doug, we always sit down and eat ice cream and watch American Idol. Great. We just have a little bit of a better, healthier ice cream for you so you can still have that late evening snack. And what you've done is you've had 6 nutritious meals, so your cravings are satisfied, your energy level goes up. But one other thing that we use also is drinking a lot of water. And what's going to happen after a day on the TSFL plan is, one, you're going to be losing weight quickly, and after 3 to 4 days, you're going to be what's called in a fat burning state. And I know that's just a cheesy little picture of a fire, but I want to give you guys an example. Versus when you're sitting around a campfire, have you ever saw the guy that always puts too much wood on at one time and it kind of smothers out the fire? Well, that doesn't allow it to burn hot. Well, that's just kind of like what we've been doing with food. When we have 1 or 2 large meals a day, it causes everything in our system to slow down. But when we add the right amount of fuel every couple of hours, it allows your body to really use its stored fat as fuel. And what's going to happen is you're going to start losing weight at 2 to 5 pounds a week, feeling amazing during the process, and not have that crazy hunger feeling that you need to go plow through Taco Bell in the afternoon. So one other thing I do want to say is that if the program itself, it does not require exercise. If you're an advocate of exercise, we think that's great. Exercise is a key habit of health in maintenance and performance. But during the weight loss plan, exercise is not required. And that's kind of fun for the people who don't like it. But you might have some questions on why that is. Well, it's really a science of getting your body fueled right. And we're going to teach you how to really narrow in your nutrition during this process. Use the Habits of Health system to get your mind healthy. Your health coach like Dan, and myself, we're all there as a key support to walk along your journey with you. And then when the timing is right, we can introduce exercise. And if you are exercising right now, that's great. You can still do the plan. We'll work with you on that as well. So what does it look like? You know, if I want to do the program that Dan's done and have his support and all of us, what we're doing is you get 4 weeks worth of food. So pretty much Take Shape for Life becomes your grocer for a season. You're done eating at Red Robin or kicking the vending machine or going through Starbucks every single day. You can still have coffee. You can still have all that type of stuff. You're just not going to be eating all those pastries and stuff. You're going to get a health coach, all of us, whether it be my wife included, the program materials with the Habits of Health system. And of course, you're going to gain optimal health versus just losing weight. And last but not least, the program pretty much replaces, like I said, what you're spending right now on food. It's $351 a month. And that covers all your meals, all your materials, and everything like that. And so that's pretty simple there. We also have an online system that's gonna you can track all your results, all your things like that. So that's pretty simple. And then here, last but not least, before we wrap up, is ask yourself this. You know, actually, before I say that, I'm going to tell you this. When I started the program, I told Calais, my health coach, I said, Calais, I don't believe the program's going to work for me. Nothing has ever allowed me to, lose weight really, and let alone that rapidly and feel that amazing. He said, Doug, you don't have to believe. It's not about belief. It's about action. He goes, if you can eat every 3 hours and you can drink lots of water, and if you'll listen to me during this process, he goes, I'll believe for you until here in a couple of weeks when you're down 10, 15, 20 plus pounds. You can believe with me. And that's how simple it is. So if you can eat every 3 hours, you can drink water, you can work, have somebody that's been in your shoes before to kind of guide you through that process. And ask yourself, do I want to be healthy? Then the program is a great fit for you. And Dan, Matlock, I'm going to maybe turn this back over to you. But for those of you that do want to get started, I would just text Dan or if you have questions, of course, we can stay on here another minute. But text or email Dan and let them know, hey, I want to get started, and we'll help facilitate your first order, make it all happen, and we'll get you on your way. So Matlock, thanks so much for allowing me to come on just to share my journey and how the program works, and I'll throw it back to you. And you're muted, I think.
Gotcha, there we go. I thought you had me muted, but I muted myself. All right. Yeah, thank you so much, Doug and Dan, for sharing, taking some time out of your day to share with all of us. Guys, it really, man, a few months ago, honestly, it was like October, November, I sat on a call like this with Dan Valentine and with Doug and listened to this. And I can say this for myself. I made excuses again. I thought, wow, I can't do it for this reason, or I can't do it for that reason, or this is going to exclude me, and I didn't do it. And I'm glad that Dan is a close enough friend of mine that he risked a little bit and called me personally. I didn't reach out to him. He reached out to me. And it was through those conversations with Dan that I realized, no, I've been making excuses and I'm done. And all the excuses I made, it's kind of like what Dan said, he wasted so much time. And Dan said that to me. He's like, listen, man, you can probably, work a little bit here and there. And, I had done P90X and gotten down to an okay weight. And, there's some things I did, but man, it took so long and it was so hard. And he's like, you can do that, and you can, and that's cool. He's like, what I would hate is for you to end up where I was 10 years from now. And he's like, it's time to move, not time to wait. And, I was so glad that he did that because, man, it's meant everything. And if he would have told me that on January 5th that I'd be where I'm at right now, weighing what I weigh, and more importantly, feeling how I feel, and I probably wouldn't have believed you. And to think that by the time my wife Kelly, a lot of you guys know this, is pregnant, by the time that baby comes along, I'll probably be at or really close to my optimal health. To think about that, to think, my gosh, like within a few months of this year, not like, okay, 2015, I'm going to try to, by the end of it, get down. No, like within the first few months, I'm going to be there. It blows me away. And I would say a million times over, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. And it's been easy. I am horrible at cooking. My kids make fun of me. I cannot cook to like me. This plan is so easy. It's like Doug said, add water, microwave. That's about as complicated as it gets. And the lean and green meals are great. Yeah, I could just, if I could encourage you, I would. And if you have any questions, you guys can hit me up on Facebook. You got my email, danmatlock@me.com. I'd love to answer any personal questions you might have. And I guess, Dan, Doug, if we have a couple extra seconds, does anybody have some real quick questions that they want to ask now? Otherwise, we can go ahead and wrap this. It's 3:02, so just a little over half an hour. We can go ahead and wrap